Market is falling, right? The entire fall has been triggered after the 500% tariff declaration by US administration. Now the question is, how relevant is US for India? Is really India's export very much dependent on US? If the with the 500% tariff means 500% tariff means we are potentially at 75% tariff considering Iran in the boat. So at 50% tariff, we were still managing, our exporters were still managing absorbing cost. Uh, Even November data is showing normalcy despite having 50% tax. Now potentially we are at 75% tax, but 500% tax is not manageable. It's potentially no trade. Now the question is US really so important? There are lots of discussion, various comments coming that if India stops trade against US, India will not be in trouble, but rather US will be in trouble. So we will take out various data points and we'll check the fact whether in US is actually important for India, whether US will face any difficulty if trade is stopped with India and China. So we will check it from various aspects with data points from India point of view, from US point of view, from uh, China point of view as well. So without wasting time, quickly let's move into the fact. The first one is US uh, contributes almost 20% of India's export. Means in FY25, there India, out of India's total export, 19.7% means almost 20% went to US. Means US is the largest export destination for India. The second one, the second one is the second largest destination is UAE with 8% share. Now the point is, where is 20%, where is 8%? There is a big gap between first and second export partner. So the question is, if the first partner, this 20%, which is around 86 billion, 86, 87 billion US dollar, annual, if we annualize the number, so this 86, 87 billion dollar is removed, means potentially trade stopped, then what will happen? Will it be a big problem? Can India mitigate this 86, 87 billion US dollar of trade from other pockets? This is a big question. Yes, India's government's effort is opening up new doors with lots of FTAs. UK FTA is done, New Zealand is done, EU is opening up. That is at the final leg. But the question is, are these sufficient? If US is eliminated, whether these 3, 4, or other new destinations will be able to compensate the loss from US trade. Try to understand that New Zealand at full potential can contribute 2 billion US dollar. So UK is not much bigger than that. EU may be a little bigger than that. So small pockets can compensate up to a certain extent, but not fully US. So that is why India never shown any aggression like China, didn't put any tariff, kept the door open. It's a very beautiful diplomatic stance of India, keeping continuing buying oil from Russia, but and try to diversify from US, but kept the door open for continued trade in the US, and how India is important for US. That is uh, that we understand from Trump's statement. Every time he kept on putting tariff on India, but simultaneously he kept on saying India is his very best friend. India is Trump continued saying Narendra Modi is his friend. So we understand importance of India for US. But how big India is to US? In India, in US total import, US is very much import dependent. In US total import, uh, India's contribution is nominal, where the biggest trading partner is Canada. I think it's Canada and Mexico. So these two countries are the biggest trading partner for the US. Uh, yes, Mexico comes first at with 20% share, followed by Canada 15% share, and China comes at 12%. India is close to 4%, so it's very low. So despite that, only for 4% of contribution, why India is so important to the US? That is also one another question. So let me give you the answer of this question. If you if you consider a few specific commodities, there is no alternative to China. There is no alternative to India, rather. And India emerged as the alternative of China. So that is why, because the product which is supplied by China, the similar products are also supplied by India. So India emerged as a trading alternative, or let's say import alternative to US versus China. Now, India, let's say pharmaceutical is exempted from this particular trade. They understand the importance. Pharmaceutical is the largest imported commodity in the US. Just a moment. Let me tell you. Uh, Pharma is the largest imported commodity in the US. It has around 7% import share in the US, and in entire pharmaceutical basket, India has a very significant stand. How big is it? No, India is not at number one. India, the number one spot is held by Ireland with 30% market share, 30% import share. Uh, India is India contributes around 5%, China at 4%. But still, why India is so important? Because the generic medicine, if as far as generic medicine is concerned, India is the key supplier, and without generic, common people will not be able to survive. As you know, it's very costly whenever patented medicine is applied. Patented medicines are always very costly. So alternative is generic, and India is the key generic player. And in US generic market, India contributes larger chunk. In that way, India is very important to the US. This is one. And barring pharma, there are some other, like India has emerged as the alternative of China. So that is where India is very important. So considering all these steps, current scenario is obviously not very favorable. Market is falling. I am not going to tell you exactly, or any opinion of mine, how much fall is left or how much downside is there. I must not comment on this particular section, but important is India stand where US stands, and as far as why India cannot stay away from Russia, because Russia is offering almost $8 per barrel discount to the market rate from current market price. $8 per barrel discount from the current market price to Indian refiners. This is very important. India is largely dependent on imported crude. At this juncture, if we get uh, like this type of discount, obviously it serves national importance. It serves India's economy quite well. It is all about national interest. So we cannot stay away from this. So this is it. I hope you found this video informative. If you like the video, then subscribe the channel for getting this type of important information.